and then a book called Cause. And the millennial generation, 80 million strong in the US and globally much larger, they want to live a life of purpose and passion. I have 3 daughters and a son. I have 4 young millennials of my own. And because they don't want to just come to work and work for money, they want to bring their passion to work, they are forcing companies who need to survive by recruiting millennials to align themselves with purpose. And we're going to talk a little bit more on how the organizations are changing the paradigm. So it used to be, the paradigm was, you're going to have a mission, you're going to have a vision, and you're going to have goals. And every year they kind of change the goals. But that doesn't work anymore. What the companies of today, whether it's AirBnB or Nike or Apple, they have a purpose. They have an ambition. They have real values, not the same values that every other company, and they tend to be quirky. And those values act as magnets to attract talent. And then they have a clear strategy, a real strategy. And I would say 99% of companies don't have a strategy. A strategy is about making choices, and most companies don't want to make choices, and they get eaten for lunch. And the individual that first came out with values, I'm going to show you a video when Steve Jobs was fired and he came back to Apple. This is a short 2-minute video that I want to show you that he was really ahead of his time.
Marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. And but even a great brand needs investment in caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and feeds. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing in the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. Apple spends a fortune on advertising. You'd never know it.
It was a grainy video, but it goes, and the sound wasn't great, but it shows you the brilliance of Steve Jobs in creating a culture and a movement that attracted the best talent in the world.